So these cracks right here were really worrying me, especially this one right here. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. This is part 5 of the bunker build, and as you can see here we are cutting out one of our windows. This is a pretty easy process as long as you have 2 people working with you. And as you can see here, my neighbor Jack is on the outside and he is using a router bit to go ahead and cut out the windows. And as you can see, it does pretty easy work of it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as soon as those windows were cut out, we started working on the top sides. And as you can see, I believe this is considered roughed in, even though it doesn't have the windows or the door yet. So it is completely roughed in. And let me show you something real quick when I talk about square. So you can see that down here, hopefully you can see that. I'll try to zoom in. You can see that down here, that panel made it about 1/4 inch to the edge. And then if you take a look, there's about 1/4 inch too much panel on the top. That means that the square on this building is off by about 1/4 inch, which is not bad. And this is what it looks like on the inside now, with all of the panels in. So tomorrow I will have this completely insulated. And then once it's insulated, I have to go out and pick out my wall material, put on my wall material, and then we can start on the floor, put in the doors, the door and the windows. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it'll be time for us to be going live from the bunker. Actually, there'll still be a lot more to do. We still have to do the electrical, and we also have to still put the heating in here, even though we don't need heating right now, but still we need to do that. And then we'll go live from the bunker. This is what it's looking like before I finish doing all of the sealing. And I still do have a little bit of sealing left. I ran out of foam. You use a lot of foam when you're sealing this. And as you can see, there's a couple of big cracks there. I'm just going to fill those in with expanding foam. I got some foam that expands at a larger rate. And I still have to get these here cut out and fit it in. Now these corners are going to be my last ones that I do, because I'll show you here when I do it. But I have to actually get some 2x4s and 2x6s so that I can construct like a 2-way highway, I guess you can call it. And you'll see what I mean with that when I do it. It's a way of being able to make sure that you have enough wood to attach your walls when you put your walls on the inside. So once I get done with this and I get done with those corners, I'll go ahead and put in the fiberglass insulation, and then we'll be ready to vapor seal it and to then start putting in our interior wall panels. So ladies and gentlemen, the reason that you saw me make this is because for the corners here, you're going to need to put up an interior wall, right? And there's nothing here in this corner that will support us nailing or screwing in a wall to the corner. So what you do is you take your stock lumber, in this case is 2x6, and as you can see, I overlap them and then I nail them together. Now this is not structural. If you had all the money in the world, you would do it with a board that goes all the way up. But I don't have all the money in the world. So what you do is you overlap them like this. And then you put them on here in this corner, nice and tight. And then you nail it into the corner. Now let me go ahead and nail it into the corner and you'll see what I mean about being able to put up your wall. Now you can see that it's nailed into the interior stud here. And you can see that we have a piece sticking out, but the key is you got to make sure that it's plumb, that it's level or even with this bottom stud right here. Same thing with this one. So now when you go to put up your walls are usually stock 7/16 or 1/2 inch. So you have 1.5 inch here. So when you put up your wall this way, you're going to use about 1/2 inch or less, depending on what you get. And then you still have enough meat. I like to call it meat. You still have enough wood surface to go ahead and put your other wall on here like this. You see? Like that. Now this is 1.5 inches, but this is just an example. You see? So it goes on there nice and sturdy, and it goes on there as well. So that's what you want to do with those. So what I'll do is I'll put these about 2 feet apart. So the next one, and they don't have to be the same length. I'm just going to get scrap 2x6s that I have, And I'm going to go ahead and cut them to the same length. And then I'm just going to put them about every 2 feet. So the next one will probably be around here. That way, when I put the wall up, I can have a few screws here, and then a few screws starting here, and it'll be on there nice and sturdy without me having to spend about an additional $100 per corner. I'm able to use my stock scrap that I have, and it'll still do the job. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we had a bit of an emergency, at least what I consider an emergency, and I had to get Chief, my dirt mover, to come out here a lot earlier than he had planned. And thank goodness that he did, because I was very worried about this. So a couple of nights ago or a couple of days ago, we had a torrential rain down here, and it poured for like 12, 13 hours straight. And I'm not talking about it raining for 13 hours straight like drizzles. I mean raining. So if you can see this, you see this is the edge of what he did last time he was here. And take a look at this. You see this? It started cracking here. And if you can see my structure here, look at these cracks. So these cracks right here were really worrying me, especially this one right here. Now he is out here, and what he's going to do is he's going to put another row of fill in the back here, and then he's going to even it out with this. That way there'll be plenty of mass behind the structure. And then he's going to go ahead and take it all the way to where you see the wood, the trees that he cut down last time, and square it off. So I think that's what I'm going to have him do for the rest of this year, and maybe also widen my driveway a little bit, and then next year we'll have him finish the rest of what I need done for the property. But look at that crack right there. So what he's bringing in is he's bringing in some really big rocks. All right, this has got smaller rocks. The loads that he's going to be bringing in are going to be like rocks this size. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like when he starts bringing them in. I've got most of my bad insulation done. I still need to do these corners. Now I have the pieces cut, but I have not sealed these corners yet because I only have 1 can of foam left right there. And it's enough to seal the 3 corners that I have left. This one, that one right there, and that one. So I want to make sure that they have foam. I still have to cut the foam for this one and that one. So I'm saving those 3 corners for the very last. But as you can see, I just have this bad insulation to put up. Everything else is done except for that piece right there that I'm going to do right now. The reason that I leave small pieces like this, you see this is not a whole piece. This is, I think, 7 inches. Is because what I'll do is if I have a piece left over from another cut that I have to make, like for example, these cuts right here. These cuts right here are like 8.5 inches or so. So if I have pieces of these left over, I'll be able to easily cut them down to 7.5 inches and then use it as a scrap to fill one of these in instead of cutting a whole piece and then cutting it in half just to get that out of it. And then of course I still have the ceiling to do. So the next time that I show you all this, it should be all insulated and it should be all wrapped with plastic, with vapor barrier plastic. And then after that, ladies and gentlemen, the walls will come. And as you can see here, Chief is doing his work in securing the ground behind my bunker to make sure that it doesn't collapse. So he's been here all morning, and he's just getting loads and putting them in there. Right there, that's probably, you see where his little tractor is? Probably about 10 feet in front of that tractor is where he started. Let me see if I can show you. Right around there. So this little corner right here alone has taken about 8 loads of gravel, of this type of gravel right here. So he's going to go ahead hopefully and finish filling in all the way to that corner over there, and then putting in another row of gravel, probably about another 10 feet of gravel in the back of the bunker. Let me show you real quick. Another 10 feet back here behind the bunker and behind the tent. He's just going to put 1 row right behind there, which is probably going to take at least 20 loads for him to do that. So that's it for now. This is update number 5 on the bunker. And hopefully by the next time that I do an update, the bunker will be looking like a real place with some interior walls and with some stain on the outside. And hopefully it'll have doors and windows. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining in. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Look what a beautiful day it is. We're supposed to have chances of rain, but I don't think it's going to rain. But remember to enjoy the minutes in your life, ladies and gentlemen. Take a minute here and a minute there just to see the beauty that there is in nature. Somebody told me once that the world is beautiful. It is that we don't see it that way. So make sure that you take a minute or two a day to see the world as it is. And it is beautiful. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I am out.